Hello and welcome to day 4 of your challenge, Discover Your Purpose. I'm so excited about this day. It's really all about that fourth step in the soul method, launch. As we know, life is active and it requires us to take action, to do something. Just like the old Nike commercial said, just do it. And so the focus today is about the anxiety that we might experience about the future related to what's next. And how do we stoke our worthiness and self-confidence as we take these next steps? So let's dive in. Thank you for being here. One of the quotes that really comes to mind when I think about the nervousness that surrounds our next step is this: the next step is not the last step. So any anxiety that we have is really determined so much about the story that we have in our mind, that this next decision is absolutely momentous and there's no going back, and everything relies upon this decision. It will make or break our life. And I remember the very first time that I had that story play in my mind, it was about my grades in high school. And if I didn't get a certain level of grade, I would not get into my choice university. And if I didn't get into my first choice university, then I wouldn't get married. No one would love me. And if I didn't get married and no one would love me, then my life would be a complete failure and I'd always be unhappy. I mean, that's how quickly it would spiral. And then fast forward into university. Like, if I don't get the absolute best job from university, then again, all the way through, my life will be a failure and I'll be miserably unhappy. But every step in the process just felt so heavy and burdened with stories and these microaggressive agreements that, whether it's through societal conditioning or family of origin or just our own stories that we make up and can take responsibility for, it felt catastrophic. And that's what it's called, is catastrophic thinking, right? And in some ways that can serve us well when we're trying to assess if a situation is dangerous or not. But for most of us, the way we live, we're not in that constant state of enormous capacity for catastrophe. Like, we're relatively safe most of the time, right? So when it comes to you living your purpose and really taking those next steps, I want you to go back and look if this has been a cycle of creating fear-based thinking around making a decision that takes you out of your comfort zone into a higher level of responsibility, no more blame storming, a higher level of tapping into your potential and really showing up as your most authentic self. And through the different points in your life, can you connect these dots and see it's all one and the same? And so this fear that's arising from taking the next steps and living your purpose, it's not about living your purpose just now. It's a cumulative effect. And you can unlearn this belief just like we learn what we think, right? So the first thing is to allow yourself to unlearn this and unburden yourself. And then from there, really delve into what's possible for you. We want to start with possibility because that's then the nurturing ground. Like, if we plant a seed, we want to make sure the soil is as strong and healthy as possible. And that's what possibility does for us, rather than scarcity mentality or catastrophic thinking and starting with the why things won't work out. We want to start with why they will. So from there, that's already a huge paradigm shift that can help you unravel these karmic knots and unlearn this fear-based story that, oh my gosh, whatever decision you make next for your purpose and living your purpose, all is lost and it's so binary. Like, it's either going to work out great or it's all going to be such a failure. It's not. The next step is not the last step. You can make another decision. And so everything we do is experiential. We can think about it for only so long. We can vision it. We can write a plan. We can journal about it. But at the end of the day, we actually need feedback. And the only way to create a feedback loop is to take action. And then that gives you data points, and then assess from that any edits, any adjustments, and then take another action, and the next step, and the next step, and the next step, and so on. So hold that to heart. And it very much has to do with how worthy you feel, how deserving, and that if you believe in your worthiness and that you deserve to have a second, third, fourth chance, that you don't have to be perfect, that you can be confident in your abilities to make the best decisions, trust your intuition, heal those times where you've self-abandoned, and allow yourself the bandwidth to take the next step in living your purpose, and know that it may not be perfect. Of course, it's not going to be perfect, but you can keep going and continue to take those steps, so on and so forth. So, one of the best pieces of advice that I can offer you when it comes to the anxiety that results from this just long held story and belief system is do things that align with your purpose and support your purpose and connect your purpose to every single day. They don't have to be big things. They can be very small, tiny little habits, right? And that, again, effect of building some momentum and collecting these tiny little data points will strengthen your confidence. But when we wait to do just one big thing, like it's like a light switch, like on or off. I'm living like this, and now tomorrow I live my purpose, and like boom, the light goes on, and I have to wait until every single thing is completely in order before I take this momentous action into living my purpose. Dun, da, da, da. But it's not so much that. It's more like a dimmer switch. And every tiny habit just turns the dial just a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. But that gives you the confidence and allows you to like just feel your own light. Just like the dimmer switch can turn on to get brighter and brighter just a little bit at a time. And when you turn on the dimmer switch a little bit at a time, you let your eyes adjust to this increased light in the room, and allowing yourself this opportunity in the way that you live your purpose and take those next steps by finding a way that it connects to day-to-day events and little habits. That's you getting acclimated to the new you, to this growing experience of you, of the 2.0 version of you. It's okay to let yourself adapt and adjust more slowly than just a light switch, night and day. Now, one of the biggest blocks to living purposefully is living out someone else's idea of purpose instead of your own. So when we feel anxiety, a lot of times that's anxiety related to being out of alignment. It's a sign, it's a somatic experience of the body, of the mind, of our emotional selves that's saying something is off. And so one of the things that happens when we go through identity crisis or we lose our purpose is we lose trust in ourselves. We go into periods of self-doubt. That's the spiral, right? So, but it's actually your own nervous system giving you feedback that, wow, I'm feeling anxious about how I'm living my life because it's not in alignment. And as soon as you start to do these tiny little things that move you further into alignment, turn that light brighter of alignment with purpose, then you'll start to feel better. You won't have as much anxiety. And it's again, it's a more subtle impact, and your nervous system is going to get regulated again. But if we're always dysregulated because we're going against the tide, we're so out of alignment, we're living the life everybody else wants us to do, we're living the purpose they want us to live and not our own, then a chronic state of dysregulation to the nervous system, yeah, it only mass produces anxiety in the way that we're feeling and the way that we're living. So hold that to heart. And now I would love to do a few journaling questions, but I want to pick it up based on this idea of the 2.0 version of yourself. So get your journal out or press pause on this video in order to get your journal out, and then we will begin. So I want you to close your eyes. Take a big breath in. Open mouth exhale. Again, inhale through your nose. Exhale out your mouth. Third time, last one. Inhale through your nose. Exhale. And with your eyes closed, just putting yourself in possibility, in a really safe memory of a place that you love, a happy place, whether it's the beach and the ocean, or it's a little cabin in the woods, or it's walking amongst the redwood forest trees, or it's just a quiet meadow. Maybe it's at sunset with low tide. Or perhaps it's just in bed on a Sunday morning. So just put yourself in that pleasurable, safe space, this happy place. And I want you to imagine the 2.0 version of yourself. And notice where you feel that first. Where is the feeling, sensation of the 2.0 version of yourself felt inside you? And if you had to assign an emotion to this feeling, when you feel this place in your body where the 2.0 version of you is felt first, what word or words would you use to describe that emotional landscape of what you're feeling when thinking about and tapping into the 2.0 version of yourself? And now start to describe to yourself not just the feelings of this 2.0 version of yourself, but the values of the 2.0 version of yourself. What are the attitudes of the 2.0 version of yourself? Is there a predominant attitudinal alignment that arises when you think of the 2.0 version of yourself? And then hold that heart. Open your eyes and start to journal that is coming up. What are the feelings, values, and attitudes associated with this 2.0 version of yourself? What are the feelings, values, and attitudes associated with the 2.0 version of yourself? Just let yourself write bullet points, prose, a combination. Doesn't have to make any sense. And then the next question, how are the current version of yourself and the 2.0 version of yourself different? How is the current version of you and the 2.0 version and identity of you different? How are they the same? How is the current version of you and the 2.0 version of you different and the same? Do you feel that the purpose, that the version of you today, right now, is the same as the 2.0 version of you? Or are you feeling that the purpose of the current version of you and the 2.0 version of you is different? More the same or more different? And then, next question, in what ways do you think your life would be different as the 2.0 version of you? As you take these next steps into living your purpose and really tapping into this next evolution of your identity, how would your life be different as the 2.0 version of yourself? How would your life be different as the 2.0 version of yourself? What in your life would be different? Whether it's, how do you wake up on a Sunday morning? How does that feel to go to bed at night on Sunday night as the 2.0 version of yourself? So for instance, for some of us, the current version of ourselves sometimes gets the Sunday scaries, that nervous, anxious feeling of like, oh my gosh, I have to go back to work tomorrow. Is that the same as the 2.0 version of yourself? Does that version still get the Sunday scaries? Well, it's different. What are your habits over the weekend from in this new 2.0 version of yourself? I can say for me, like the previous version, working all weekend long. The 2.0 version of myself, respecting and honoring my worth, that I don't need to earn rest, that I automatically, unconditionally deserve to rest, and that my self-care through self-love and taking actions to look after myself is just a bare necessity. It's not a luxury. So that's an example for me how the 2.0 version of myself is different. Whether it's what you eat, how you exercise, who's around you, where do you live? How are those things different in the 2.0 version of yourself? And then the next question, what's one practice you can implement to grow your confidence in living your purpose? What's just one practice you can implement, even within the next 24 hours, that will grow your confidence in living your purpose? Not 10 things, 20 things, but what is one thing you can implement in the next 24 hours that will grow your confidence in living your purpose? For me, it's the one thing that I can implement is reduce the time that I'm on social media. I just know that social media gives us ample opportunity for social comparison. And the more I'm on social media, then all of a sudden I am comparing myself to other people, and then I start to experience imposter syndrome, and all the self-doubt creeps in. And then I question if I should be living my purpose, or but look at that person living their purpose and that purpose and that purpose. Maybe those are better purposes than mine, right? So that's one thing I could implement in the next 24 hours is just reduce the number of hours. And my phone tells me how many hours I've been on social media. And I could put alarms in to remind myself, like, all right, this has been your limit for the day. So just think about that one thing. There is something you can implement in the next 24 hours. The next question, writing to these. When I think about who I am becoming, I feel, when I think about who I am becoming, I feel ... and just stream of consciousness. Just When I think about who I'm becoming, I feel, write those things down. No particular order, just let them flow. The next question. I have an opportunity to be my future self today when I have the opportunity to be my future self today when I dot dot dot. I have the opportunity to be my 2.0 future self when for me as an example, when I set healthier boundaries and say no decisively to what is not healthy and productive for me, so that I have time and space to say yes to what is healthy and productive and supportive of me. So, what things can you do? I have the opportunity to be my future self, that 2.0 version of myself today when I dot dot dot. Again, for me, just get more sleep. Like, that would be an easy one. And then finally, a great day living my purpose in the future looks like. So write these words. A great day living in the future looks like dot dot dot. A great day living in the future looks like. A great day living in the future looks like. A great day living as the 2.0 version of myself looks like. Yeah, a great day living as the 2.0 version of myself looks like. And so really take time to read back everything that you've written and see the answers that come through from your own introspection and review of the wisdom that's coming through you, from you, to you. A little exercise that I love to do with my journals, and it doesn't matter if it's the next hour, the next day, 2 weeks later, even sometimes 2 months, 2 years later, is I have colored pencils and I will look for keywords in what I've written and color that same word with that one color. So like green, trust, 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 trust. Every place that I see the word trust or something like trust, then I'll just color that green, or I'll color something else blue, or color something yellow. But what that lets me see is the themes of what's showing up, and it just gives me another opportunity to use my own writings to inform myself. And I get confidence from that, and so will you. Confidence is not out there, confidence is within you. It's just a matter of doing the exercises that can strengthen confidence in yourself. And when you do this little exercise with the colored pencils, you'll be like, wow, look at this. Like, I am clearly telling myself exactly what I need. I know what to do. And I do believe that. I think you know what to do. I think you know your purpose. I think you know how to live it. I think you know how to tap into the feeling state of the 2.0 version of yourself, because it's already inside you waiting to be revealed. It's been a joy and a pleasure to be with you today, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. Please don't hesitate to share with me the aha moments and those things that are arising for you, whether it's questions, observations, wherever they are. And I'd love to just continue to be part of your journey and help you to feel the confidence in the next steps. For now, with hands over my heart to your heart, may you love yourself, love your day, and love your life.